Okay, we are live again. Go ahead and type in chat. Tell them to refresh. Looks stable. We're not dropping any frames yet. Switch over to Big Goat. There we go. Boom.
I gotta be Big Goat. Why can't I just be normal?
That's just what I have the scene called because it's it's a bigger version of you. Okay, yeah, everything looks to be stabilized. The camera's not glitching around no more. I mean, it was for a second there.
I think, like I said, I think that's partially just through the collab thing.
Yeah. It looks like we're stabilized. It looks like we're back, chat. I apologize for that. Thanks for sticking with us.
Yeah, so now we get back to show and tell.
Yeah, back to show and tell.
We got the large dice box steampunk container. All these cool designs and wheels and gadgets and fidgets. None of them move or anything.
Oh, you can like actually see through like some of like the caging and stuff too. Yeah.
So you can go look from one side to the other.
That's pretty cool.
And even the lid. There was multiple designs for the top. There was steampunk, which is like the wind going through like a steam cloud.
Yeah, sure.
And there was like a lightning and a water one. I just put some of those dice in it. And this actually has little notches on it, so it actually like clasps shut. And the originals are pretty tight. I ended up having to make the lid like 2% bigger to make it easier.
Yeah.
But you can get this on like that.
And it just, that thing ain't coming loose. That's cool.
And then this is the original size. So for comparison, this will actually hold an entire set of RPG dice in here.
Oh yeah, that little tiny
an entire set of RPG dice in there. And this one I made with the 2% increase. So you can see it still kind of closes. It won't just fall open. But I can just pull it open with ease.
Right. Yeah.
An entire set of dice in there.
How neat. Look at that.
Next, things like you were talking about, decorations for your costume. You got a assortment of gears. We got large ones, small ones, and tiny ones. All different kinds and types. Kind of hard to hold them all up in my camera at the same time, but an assortment of gears. So you can make like a sash out of them, make buttons out of them, make hair clips out of them. Kind of leaving it up to the, what do you call it, cosplay?
Imagination.
Yeah, your imagination.
Yeah, your own imagination.
We also actually have buttons. It's a pretty clever design. I don't know if you'll be able to get it on the camera, but it's kind of hard to. There you go. You can see there's a hole on each side of the triangle where you can line threads through, and one right in the bottom center if you go through those three on the side. Pretty interesting design. You get a handful of large, like $50 size ones, and a handful of small ones.
Beautiful.
So we got buttons and gears.
Yeah, so if you are going to be at Steampunk November and you're short on costume items or you broke a button, come see us. We'll have some buttons for you.
We got these lockets that you saw earlier. They're not the best because the person that designed it admitted that he had never printed it before. He just designed it.
Yeah.
So there's several ways. There's supposed to be gears on the inside, but they end up getting tore up. You either have to print it with supports, and it ends up with supports all throughout the inside.
Yeah, it makes it impossible
to get out.
Yeah.
Or you try and print it without, and you get like 50% gear, 50% not gear. But, I only made a couple. I figured the outside still looks cool. If it's hanging on your chest or something, nobody's going to know.
Yeah.
Made it. Oh, yeah, by the way, this filament that I made all these boxes out of, that's the black gold. Kind of a interesting metallic looking filament by everyone. Everything here, just for our little minor sponsor that we have.
Yeah.
Everyone giving us discounts and free filament. This is a little Mayan death whistle made out of the black gold. And we have the plague doctor made out of the black gold. I haven't finished fully getting everything at the top of his hat there, so you can kind of see some of the roughness that supports cause.
Yeah.
But for the most part, though, you look how super smooth the beak and stuff is.
Yeah, that's pretty
Pretty
clean.
crazy. And like the texture on the hat, you see that?
Yeah, that's cool. I like that a
It's
lot.
pretty crazy.
Yeah, speaking
And
of texture, you were telling me about like the different like textures that you can put on prints with like the bed that you
which
use.
I ordered.
Oh,
So actually, I don't have it anymore. I give it back to Keith. But yeah, so the bed that we put on here, it makes. If I could just show on this, it makes this texture here. Which you can kind of see. It's just kind of like a, you know, you can feel it texture.
yeah, just
And there's other plates that I can build on that are smooth or rough, but the smooth ones, they'll be like, kaleidoscope rainbows on it. And it actually shows up on the print, like because of how it heats it or whatever
yeah.
it does. When I flip this over off of that print, it'll look like a sparkly rainbow.
That's pretty
Now, I
crazy.
didn't get the rainbow one. I got they're like black and white, like hologram type material. So I got like a houndstooth and like triangles or something.
Hmm.
Both smooth, but they're just black and white because I figured not everybody wants sparkly rainbow, but it'd be cool to show off some of those cool textures.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, speaking of the one I was holding, that's our steampunk fox.
Yeah, low poly
Like you're
steampunk fox.
seeing, yeah,
Look
low
kind of like a
poly
cat.
steampunk
Yeah.
fox. Yeah, kind of hard to tell. I guess when we're selling it, it's like, hey, you like cats? It's a cat.
Yeah.
but it was descripted as a fox. But it's kind of hard to distinguish when it's low poly whether it's a cat or a fox or a dog
Yeah.
or a wolf. I mean, it's an animal in a top hat.
It's whatever it is you want it to be.
Yeah, your imagination.
Imagination.
Lastly, three things left. We got a small steampunk octopus. Came out
Oh,
pretty cool. Had a little accident on his hand there. His one tentacle is shorter than the rest of them.
that's okay. That's how it is in real life anyway.
Yeah, everybody's a unique snowflake. And then we have this big cousin here. Again, imagine the size of my hand.
Yeah. Big boy.
This thing is a pretty big one. And it also had a few defects. I think there's just something wrong with this model. But typically, I want to see how things can get messed up. Really good. You know that said? Can I not find it out? Here we go. You get things like this, where the bottom layer of
Oh,
this tentacle messed up.
yeah.
It's like the whole thing is fine, but there's like 3 tentacles that have defects. There's another one. And it was weird because I came in here probably 6 layers in, enough of like, you can see how thin that piece is that's hanging off. That's about when I came and checked on it. When it was that thick.
Yeah.
Didn't see a single thing wrong with it. And I went to bed. And I woke up in the morning and it looks like a whole octopus. I'm like, all right, sweet. Peel it off and I start looking at it. I realized there's like 4 arms that I messed up. I'm like, what the heck happened? Like I went to
This
bed.
isn't where I
It was
parked my
fine.
car.
I woke up. It looked fine until I take it off. And then it's got like 4 damaged legs. I'm like, 3D printing, man.
Yeah.
But something that didn't mess up, and I made about 4 or 5 of these. I'm really impressed with this. Is this container here. So this prints just like this, both of these at the same time, standing up. And it gives you all those details of gears and letters and cogs, symbols, everywhere around it.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Get the camera to focus in more, but it is all that standing up with no supports, not a single support. Holding this up, this one has supports going on the edge of the lid here, but it's a container. Just to put whatever you want in container, and it has little notches where it actually goes in there and twists closed. You can turn it upside down.
How neat.
But it's just insane that it prints every bit of those details standing up. Nothing's glued on there, painted, or anything.
Man.
Yeah, pretty cool. No little dice holder or magic potion holder, depending on what your cosplay is.
Scrolls. You can put
Or
like a scroll or a recipe for something. Who knows?
Squirrel messages.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much it for the 3D printing over here.
Beautiful.
There's some other things that we had to show. We're not going to show all of our secrets. We
Yeah.
still have one more stream before we go.
Yeah,
well.
we can't give away
Probably have some more
everything.
things. Yeah. But yeah, we'll have one more before the steampunk. So hopefully we'll have some more new products to show. But we have made a few more things. We made like a steampunk cross and steampunk bow tie. Or some of the other things. I thought there was more. Are you still there?
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to just take in all the stuff we've got so much planned. I'm so excited. Just a lot of stuff to talk about this episode. I'm really excited about the final portion. That being said, segue into the middle portion of our show here, which is going to be the gaming news. All right, we've got some stuff to talk about. Go, just some updates, some things, some new information, some old information, some stuff like that. I know you specifically had something you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I got a few games to point out.
Yeah.
As far as me personally, I've just been deep diving into Warcraft.
Of course, yeah.
Waiting for other games to come out and whatnot. One of them, which I actually forgot to look at the release date. I looked up 2 other release dates and forgot about but it's 7 Days Blood Moons.
Yeah.
And let me see if they actually have a release date. Blood Moons release date. This is coming soon.
Coming soon, yeah.
So whenever that one's coming out, they don't have anything official yet, or even apparently even teasing. Back in the day, it was supposed to be spring 2024. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so those of us that know, a lot of the early days of RUM-Gaming in the gaming community started with 7 Days to Die and Space Engineers.
Yep.
And we've ran servers over the years and whatnot. We're always going to have a space in our heart, I guess, and our frustration for 7 Days to Die.
Yeah, they'll always hold a special plate in RUM-Gaming, special place in the RUM-Gaming community.
Well, the Fun Pimps decided to branch out a little bit. They're still slowly developing 7 Days to Die, but they've kind of admitted that they're mostly done with it. And they wanted, I don't know if you want to say they wanted to jump on the bandwagon of all these other player versus monster type games.
Yeah.
And so they came out with their version. They took their 7 Days platform and turned it into a separate game called 7 Days Blood Moons, which is like a tower defense meets Dead by Daylight style game where the quote-unquote killer acts as the 7th day zombie horde that comes out during the 7th day blood moon, which in the normal game is just waves and waves of zombies for the entire course of the nighttime period, tries to break down your base and get into it. But it's just AI. They just spawn and they just run towards a point and try and kill you. They're making it where now a player is going to control that 7th day blood moon horde event, and they'll have X amount of each type of zombie, and they'll be able to place exactly where they want them to go and which one they want to go where, trying to kill 4 players that are playing basically normal 7 Days to Die. They're gathering and building their base and preparing for that horde night.
And then is it just me, or looking at the screenshots, or maybe we just haven't played it in so long, but did they change the art style of the game? It almost because I'm looking at the screenshots of the weapons and the zombies, and it looks like Borderlands.
Yeah, I noticed that in some of the pictures. I don't know if that's for this game mode, because some of the pictures look like normal, some don't.
Yeah.
So, and that might just be their stills, though. They might have been their, what do you call it, artwork.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, their storyboard planning artwork.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks cool. I'm definitely going to give it a shot. I mean, we can't not,
I mean, it
right?
depends on how much it is.
Yeah,
If they
that's
throw
fair.
down some $60 title, I'll wait till the summer sale or something.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Because again, it depends. Like I said, looking at these early pictures, it's kind of like, I don't know, man. I feel like y'all are just throwing some shit together for a few extra dollars. But
Yeah, y'all are just trying to make a quick buck, but we'll
I
see.
really like the concept, though. You know, you take one of my favorite games and you turn it into another one of my favorite games, Dead by Daylight, and I'm like, hey,
Well, I mean,
might work out.
I will give them this. They did at least put in the effort to do a live action trailer, which is kind of cool. I don't know if you're watching it on the stream, but that's pretty neat. That requires a little bit of effort, a little bit of money. I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know, I can appreciate that.
It's pretty crazy. I remember when they came. Well, they had that out like a long time ago for just 7 days, I thought, or maybe it was a different one for 7 days. But it's not the first time they've done a live action trailer.
No.
But yeah, that's upcoming games that a couple of us are looking forward to.
Yeah.
A lot of the old 7 days players in the communities,
Yeah.
the current communities, and the RUM-Gaming community.
Yeah, that's exciting. I definitely want to give that a shot if it's a reasonable price, like you said. Yeah.
As for more long-term games, though,
Yeah,
the two that we've talked about
over
seemingly last year,
over and over and over again, we continue to come back to them, and we still haven't heard
Yeah.
anything new. It seems like.
Well, there's a little bit of news.
Little bit
Dune
news?
Awakening during what was that, like August 17th?
Mm-hmm.
They finally, well, sort of finally, said it's going to be early 2025 is when it's going to launch. And that's
Okay.
another like survival MMO, kind of like Conan, because I think it's actually made by some of the same people. Isn't Funcom who does Conan?
Yeah, actually, I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're making a Dune survival game, but it says crafting MMO. So
Yeah.
me, when I think MMO, I don't think 7 Days to Die or
Yeah.
even Conan. I think Warcraft. But
I really hope it's not just like a reskin of Conan in the Dune universe.
Hoping not.
Like,
because it would be really easy for them to do that.
Yeah, and that's just what people just do these days. It seems like, and it's really frustrating and really unfortunate.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we got a desert rocky map.
Yeah,
like if we just touch it up a little bit,
yeah, we change some assets, tweak the assets, make it look alien.
Change it from gods to worms. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, we got this.
Change the thralls to the Arakan sand people.
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
We'll see. I haven't seen any like gameplay footage yet. So, oh wait, there's a video on that announcement. I'll have to go watch that later.
Yeah, they've posted a little like sneak peek at gameplay. It looks interesting. I'm definitely, again, another one I'm super excited for. And then the Star Wars one, I don't know if we're ever gonna see anything about that one.
As far as the latest news that I found, what was the date on that? I want to say it was also August. August 1st. It was some kind of like, August 1st. According to Quantic, the game developers or company, like people funding it.
Mm-hmm.
So back in 2021, they said we're estimating a 3 to 4 year release date. I think it was 3 to 4. Maybe it was 3 to 5. I lost my path here. Oh, here we go. 3 years ago. 3 to 4 years, yeah. So they said they're 3 to 4 years away from launch at the end of 2021. So if you say January 2022, so you'd be going to 23, 24, 25. So this coming January would be the 3-year mark, but technically they'd have until January 2026. And the only thing Quantic released on August 1st was they reaffirmed that there have been no delays since no launch date has been confirmed. So they're not delayed at all.
They don't have anything.
But there's but they're holding their ground. I'm like, hey, we said 3 to 4 years at the end of 2021. I mean, I still got another year. What do you want from me?
Yeah.
You're like, you're right, but come on.
It's like you can't give us anything, like nothing. You have nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
so they're still on track for either the end of this year or the end of next year.
Yeah, but you have nothing to show for it that you can show us. All right, cool, got it.
They've sent in some more screenshots. Again, looking at this article from that release, they've produced a few more screenshots to give you some more teasing, but still, like, no real idea what we're getting into.
Yeah. Speaking of Star
But
Wars,
they're
though, speaking of Star Wars, Outlaws, which we were talking about, we talked about last month, we were kind of stoked about. Apparently, isn't performing very well. It hasn't sold well. It hasn't been received very well. Which, to be honest with you, I'm a little frustrated with the reason why it's not selling well. At least why everybody's reporting that it's not selling well. Um, it's frustrating. I don't think it's the truth. Because as somebody who's put a significant number of hours into it, I can understand why people may not be enticed by it. It's good. It's a change of pace for Star Wars games. I will give it that.
So what are they saying? Why are they saying it's
Oh,
bad?
it's getting pushback because it has a female predominant main character, and it has LGBTQ themes in the game and transgender themes in the game and things like that. And so that's apparently got people all pissed off. I don't think that's real. I don't think that's actually why people aren't buying the game. It could be.
I'm sure it's why some people. I'm sure
For
it's why a
some people,
decent
sure.
portion of them. And there's quite a large community out there that is just
Well, the thing is
completely against it.
the
But
the
whether
thing
they're
is
actually
like,
part of the gaming community or just part of the community that's anti,
right.
you know,
Well, my
that
thing is
community.
like the people that are upset about it are saying that they're just trying to push this agenda, and it's like the developers like came out straight up and said it's like, no, we're not pushing an agenda. We're just trying to make a game that's accessible and relatable for everyone. Like, we're not
Yeah.
pushing an agenda. We're just making it accessible and relatable to everyone.
Well, what I was
Yeah.
saying is that I think it might be the other way around. I think it's the anti-agenda people pushing their anti-agenda when they're not
Yeah.
even playing the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder how many people are just using it as a soapbox.
Yeah.
They're like,
Who
oh,
knows?
here's something else we can rant about. I'm like, have
Who
you even
knows?
played the game? Well, my nephew's cousin played it.
And in that same vein, more news with the same developer, Assassin's Creed Shadows was announced that they are delaying the release of that till February. The nice thing about that announcement, though, which I found was really, really cool, is pretty unanimously from all of the comments that I read on all the different social media from the announcement, were really positive from the community. Nobody was like really like being aggressive and pissed off and hating on them and talking shit. Like most of the reception was, that's fine. If you need to take time to make sure that this game is polished and put together and complete, that's fine. Take your time. We got it. We understand. But also another big problem with Assassin's Creed Shadows is they're having pushback because they have a female ninja main character and a black samurai that's based in feudal Japan. And so people are pissed about that. I will say I think it was a little distasteful to have the only hip hop music in the entire trailer to be for the black samurai. That's a little distasteful. They could have probably not done that. But I really think that's just dumb to be mad about. But yeah, the delay. My big point with the delay was the fact that they announced it. It's now releasing in February. But the community overall was supportive, which I thought is a big step for the gaming community, because that was not the case a few years ago. I mean, we look at what happened with Cyberpunk. They released it as a complete dumpster fire because they were literally getting death threats for delaying it. Like, they were like, okay, Jesus, we'll put the game out, and it was dog shit. It was not ready.
And some of the, who was it? I think it was me. No, I think it was me, or me, Biggie, and Adam were talking about that. Or it's like, we forget sometimes that in the corporate world per se that there's so many things that come into play other
Yeah.
than is the game ready.
Yeah. There's a lot of
There's
puzzle pieces.
their what do you call it, the stakeholders and stuff.
Yeah.
You got these expectations that you set on paper in a contract for the
Yep.
people that gave you the money to get it going, basically.
Yep.
And it's like, as much as you'd rather make the fans happy, you have a contract, like a legally binding agreement
Yeah.
with somebody else. So it's like sometimes you're like, well, I know it's a dumpster fire, but we agreed. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's
that's that's a perfect example of that, is like what happened with the developers for Helldivers, right? Like they developed the game and they made the game, but because they signed a contract with Sony was allowed to put the restriction on people to you have to get a PSN account to play this game. And like the thing that sucks is because this dev got absolutely trashed for that. The game got bombed on Steam reviews, like it got destroyed, and I felt so bad for the devs because it wasn't even their decision. They didn't even want to do that to begin with, but it's because it was in their contract. There's nothing they could do about it.
And it sucks because, like, I mean, I don't know. Again, I know I'm not part of the higher up world, but it's like, at what point do you want the dumpster fire more than a delay?
Right. Yeah.
Like, how is that good for anybody?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I guess because they look at it like, well, I would rather you, say if they say, hey, we gave you $1 million, you said you'll make at least 10 million, and we know if we sell it now as a dumpster fire, we'll still make our 10 million and get our money back.
Yeah.
Versus if we waited another 6 months, we can make 20 million. They don't care. They just want that initial 10 million return on their investment.
Yeah. Well, I think what's happening is the community and the developers and these publishing companies are smartening up, right? They're not pre-ordering things anymore. They're not buying games at release anymore because of the track history of shit just being garbage. But that's a good segue into the next title that I wanted to talk about, and that released last month, which is Space Marine 2 Warhammer 40K. This game, I haven't had the pleasure of playing it myself, but every single thing I've heard about it, everything I've seen about it is nothing but wonderful. It looks fantastic. It plays really well. It's got a great story. It's wonderful for people. It's a great introduction into the Warhammer 40K world. Like I haven't heard anything bad about it. And that's really, really, really cool because it's a AAA title. It just released and it's been fantastic from release. It seems like we're seeing a shift in the industry with, and it all starts with the community, but we're seeing a shift now where these developers and these publishers are starting to realize that the community isn't putting up with bullshit anymore. We're not going to buy garbage.
Speaking of which, I mean, I know we're running out of our video game time, but it just reminded me of we haven't checked in on RUM-2 in a while.
We haven't. I haven't seen anything of it, but I do have a couple of more titles I want to talk about. 2 more to be exact.
Well, I was just going to throw it out there that they did announce on August 7th they're still aiming for the end of 2024.
Oh shit! So maybe soon we'll have some news. The next one I want to talk about is the new release, Dead Rising Remastered. They remastered the original Dead Rising game. I remember when that game first came out, I thought it was the coolest thing. I was never really big into horror games or anything like that, but I thought it was really cool that like they would dump you into a mall and you could use anything as a weapon. Anything. You could pull hangers off the shelf and stab zombies. Like you could use anything. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And the fact that they remastered it, it looks good. From what I've heard, it plays well, looks good. It looks like they put effort into a remaster. That's really exciting. And I hope I get a chance to play that.
Seeing some like side-by-side pictures.
It looks like they put effort into it
for what the game is.
Yeah. They looks like they worked on it, which is awesome because they haven't really done anything in a while. So to see this, that's exciting. And then the final game on my list is released on PC this month. So if you haven't had a chance to download it, it came out on Steam. God of War Ragnarok is now out on PC. Make sure you go check it out. It's a wonderful game. I don't know how well it runs on PC as opposed to console. I really don't like pushing Sony games anymore, just because Sony, they make me sick with their business practices sometimes. Did you hear about their like 30th anniversary PS5 or whatever, 50th anniversary or whatever the hell?
No,
So they released like a
like a new PS5.
they released like a limited anniversary edition PlayStation 5, right? And they were selling it for $900 at GameStop. No, I'm sorry, $700 at GameStop. $700 for a spray painted PS5. Like,
I mean,
well, the problem with that is
it's not just spray paint.
the problem with them doing that was the way they executed it. They opened it up for pre-order. So what means is, okay, that's great. That means all of the robots and AI are going to buy all of the copies, and then you're going to sell it, and then they're going to sell it for, $1,200 on eBay. It's going to get bought up immediately by all the scalpers. So enjoy your $1,200, 50th edition PS5. Like,
yeah. I mean, that's always going to happen with the scalpers. But,
yeah.
I'm looking at what it comes with. I mean, it comes with a little bit more. It comes with 2 controllers, limited edition, like charging station.
Okay. So you're spending $300 for a charging station. A regular PS5 is $400 to $500. I just think it's ridiculous.
Random things that don't matter.
Yeah.
Like a sticker and a poster and a paper clip. Like a paper clip?
Yeah. $700 paper clip, dude.
And it comes with Astro's Playroom pre-installed, whatever that is.
Ooh.
But I mean, almost every console you can find with a free game or 2.
Yeah, like it's just
I'd have to see like a side by side of what's the difference. I mean, I don't know exactly the value difference.
To be honest
nowadays
with you,
a controller is like $100.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, that in itself isn't really all that bad. Like, but when you just combine it with all the other just scummy shit that Sony does, it just makes you even more mad. But if it makes you too mad, we've been doing a lot of outreach to try and get some people to help us out here with the nonprofit, and we got ourselves a volunteer goat. You've introduced her already. I want to go ahead and introduce her to the stream for our veteran segment. We've onboarded a volunteer, someone who's going to help us out with the mental health side of our talks
goals
that we have and goals. We want to like we stated before, we want to try and give back. So we want to be able to give you more resources for veterans, especially for the mental health front, because that's really what we're here for. That's why we do the 3D printing. That's why we have the gaming community, is to improve your mental health and make you feel better about yourself at the end of the day. So I want to introduce, she's not going to join us. You'll probably never hear her voice or see her face, unless she allows a picture on the website and a special thanks or whatever the case may be. But her name is Dawn. She is a licensed clinical social worker, LCSW. She is licensed in the states of Louisiana and Texas, and also provides virtual therapy services. She has 5 years of experience in the school system working with special needs children, and she has 12 years experience in private practice, and her practice is Southern Medical Health Wellness and Trauma Recovery Center. That's her practice. She owns her own practice. Dawn is licensed again in Louisiana and Texas. She is a 2007 graduate of LSU's School of Social Work. She works with ages 12 and up and specializes in trauma therapy. She's a mother of 3, a grandmother to 2. She lives very close by to me here in Katy, Texas, and she says that she has a passion for helping others. She's provided cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, and EMDR therapy, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, to concepts that she really kind of believes in and methods that she really believes in, is really passionate about. The reason I introduced her is because she wrote a wonderful synopsis of a book that she thinks is one of the best books for people in her field with her specialization.
And I'll put a link in chat to that book here in a minute.
Yeah, there will be a link in chat for that book. I believe it's called, what was the name
It's
of
The
it?
Body Keeps the Score.
The Body Keeps the Score. She wrote a really great 5 or 6 paragraph synopsis of that book that we will be posting on our website. This is also another announcement. We are launching the blog. It will be up by the end of this week. So make sure you stay tuned in to our website for the blog to go live. You'll be able to see her synopsis of the book. We'll we'll have it all there. It's we're really excited to be working with her. She's gonna help us, answer questions. She's gonna provide us with content and topics to talk about during these 15-20 minute veteran topics sections that we have. So yeah, everybody give it up. W in the chat. Big shout out to Dawn for helping us out with that. We're really excited to work with her and to have somebody that actually knows what they're talking about.
We were also thinking about making that the first part of our blog we keep thinking about doing, right?
Yeah, we are. That should be, like I said, when we open up that blog, that'll be the first blog, is her synopsis of this book. So if you want to read it, if you're interested, pick it up, give it a read, and then go check out her blog, her synopsis about it, and see what you think. It's like I said, I'm super stoked to have somebody with her kind of knowledge, backing us up and in our corner to get out the correct and helpful information.
If it's one thing we've learned through doing this the last couple of years, is like there's so many different ways to deal with things and to cope with things and to help with things and to improve your life. And you might look at this list of 30 things and be like me, where I'm like what was that called, like cynicist or anti anything. I look at things and it'd be like 29 of those things. I'm like, I'm not doing that. But the 30th one, I'm like, I would have never thought that would help.
Yeah.
So it's, even if you're somebody like me that, you might look at that list and 15 things pertain to you, or you might be like me and only one pertains to you, but that's all it takes is one to help improve things.
Yeah. And, I'm going to put a comment section for these blog posts. So that you guys, when you read them, if you happen to ever have any questions or anything like that, you'll be able to comment on them, get your question answered by somebody who knows what they're talking about, who can, give you educated advice.
Because we're motivated, we're not always educated.
Yeah, I mean, Goat and I, I'm sure everyone has their own issues. I know I have mine, and everybody deals with them differently. And everybody has their own advice on what to do in these situations, and what works for me may not work for you, and I don't want to steer anybody the wrong way. And so that's really exciting.
You in the right direction.
Yeah, we're gonna we have
somebody that can steer you.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. She's got all the resources, man. She knows, if you need to talk to a specific person, she can get you to the right people. She's going to
get you to the right peer.
Yeah, we can get you to the right people.
Boat.
Yeah.
Well, I was making an analogy of a dock or a pier.
Okay.
We can get you to the right dock. She can get you to the right ship.
There you go. There's the analogy. Yep. We'll get you to the dock. She'll put you on the boat. Yeah, so give it up for her. And I think that's
learning more as time goes on.
Yeah. I mean, she's got. I've talked to her briefly. Just about. First when it was just coming on board and helping us out with this stuff, and just immediately she had just really cool ideas, and she was popping off with things that she'd like to talk about, and things that could help, that would be useful. So I mean, we're gonna get some some really cool stuff out there for you guys. So, stay tuned for that.
Yeah, and we talked about it a little bit last month about adding more things to our website as far as like things to help out veterans, and we're
Yeah.
digging into that more as far as other people that do things like RUM-Gaming. We give away free 3D printing, and there's people everywhere. There's all kinds of groups that do other things for veterans, and we're trying to dig into those. Test out some of the waters, weed out the fakes from the good ones, or the easy versus complicated. Whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And as we come across those, we're going to keep posting more. Like over the last month, I discovered there's about 4 or 5 groups across the U.S. that do free canes, like custom canes for veterans. And some of them are like super elaborate, intricate canes with things recessed inside of the cane. Like one guy likes to put something military-ish, whether it's a bullet casing or a medal or an award or something, like he embeds it inside of there. And others are a little bit more basic. They'll just do like wood burning and staining and stuff. But still, it's cool that there's people out there. So as we test the waters on those, we'll post on our website which ones are, still operational and legit and whatnot.
Yeah. I mean,
as well as dig into other things.
If you look next to us here, I've got the website for canesforheroes.com pulled up, and I've just got a little slideshow of all the different canes that this gentleman has made.
Yeah. Well, which that's the one that hasn't gotten back to me yet, so I don't know if he's still in operation or not.
Yeah. But I mean, either way, I mean, this is the kind of stuff that you can really get. I mean, there's tons. Like, it's crazy. Like, I knew getting out and even going in that there was going to be benefits, for me and my family being a veteran. And even like looking for stuff, I find new shit all the time. You get to think it's like, okay, well, there can't possibly be more, right? And then you find more. It's like, dude, the amount of resources out there are truly endless. Like, you can find anything if you're a veteran. There's anything.
Yeah, and usually it's ran by other veterans that are happy to help.
Yeah. And if you stay till the end of this podcast, we're very glad you found us. That will do it for our time. I mean, we're a little early. We got about 5 minutes left, but I think that's a good place to call it. We can plug our socials. We can, wind everything down, wrap everything up in a nice little bow here.
Well, I was just going to recap on a couple of things.
Going
back to the first part of this, just RUM-Gaming news. We've also had the opportunity to meet a lot of new people. Like there's some of these changes we've been making and doing more outreach and doing these events. We've been seeing a lot more traffic, and it's been interesting. Like recently, me and Dragon were sitting in Discord, and somebody just popped in.
Yeah,
so he just Googled and found us. And happened to look in Discord and saw the 2 people that run the organization sitting in chat together. And it's like, well, hey.
Yeah, I think honestly that's one of the first times that's happened, at least to me. I don't know if it's happened to you. You're in the Discord more than I am, it seems like.
Yeah, I've had people pop in from time to time, but never like that. Never like, hey, I just found you 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And then both of the leaders happen to be in chat.
I mean, we ran into, we were talking about it earlier. We ran into a pretty decent problem last week. We have so many like, a constant supply of PC build consults that we were struggling to figure out which ones we've done and which ones we haven't. So, I say that to make the bigger point is, trying to solve that particular issue, which is a good issue to have, by the way. Don't say that I'm complaining. But in investigating how to solve that issue, I looked at our website and I happened to see our analytics, and we've got some pretty decent engagement going on our website, which is really, really exciting.
So I said, we've been, granted, not to downplay us, but, we always like to compare ourselves to regiment.
Yeah.
And it's like, every time I look at ourselves to regiment, I'm like, well, we're still no regiment.
Yeah.
But we're doing what we can. doing these events, we're handing out cards, we're attending more shows. I'm getting a little bit braver at talking to people. Like, I love talking to people, but I hate introducing myself
Yeah,
to
like
people.
yeah, like starting that conversation.
Well, no, it's mostly because of my intimidation factor.
Yeah.
I'm not like an approachable, bubbly looking person.
Right.
So whenever somebody like me taps you on the shoulders, like, hey, can I talk to you for a second? Like, what?
Yeah.
What? Like, calm down, man. I just want to talk to you about this. I gotta go.
Yeah.
Like, all right, man. You want to just take my card? No, thanks. Okay, well, sorry.
And see, I have the opposite problem, dude. I like there are like circumstances where I try to be unapproachable. It just never works, dude. People like to talk to me. Like I don't know. I was laughing. We were at the store. I think it was just yesterday. Shelby and I were, and I'm walking like through the aisles of Target, and like three people, like complete random strangers I've never seen in my entire life, walk by me. Like specifically, we're like, "Hey man, how's it going?" Like, like who does that in a store? Like when you pass by somebody in the aisle, like, "Hey, how you doing?" Like, no, I mean.
So I say
I
that,
know I don't, but like they made it a point to like make sure I heard them like loud enough for me to hear them. Like, hey, how you doing? Like, and then like kind of looked at me to make sure I responded. Like, and I was totally cool with it. I was like, man, this is kind of neat. Like everybody's being so nice today. Like, what is happening? But it's like I don't know what it was that like people just felt like they wanted to greet me.
what's funny is other people. I do get that a lot. A lot of people. I feel like I'm both anti-approachable and approachable because I will get plenty of people that want to randomly talk to me.
Yeah.
And even despite me trying to put off more of a vibe of why are you talking to me,
Yeah.
it's almost like that makes them want to talk to you more.
Yeah. It's like, hey,
Like,
hey, buddy, you having a bad day or something? You want to talk about it? It's like, no, motherfucker. That's why I look like this.
yeah. Like, especially, I think it's the whole, like, you're talking about, like, at stores. I feel like some people are socially awkward in stores.
Yeah.
And so they start, like, talking even though they don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, that could be. That could be. I mean, I try to do that sometimes where, like, if I feel like I'm kind of, like, sinking into myself too much, I try to make an effort to, like, open up a little bit more and, like, try and engage somebody, so that I... you have to practice. If you don't want to be socially awkward
more.
and you want to be able to be, to spark a conversation with anybody at any time, that's something you have to practice. You don't. I mean,
Well, that's what these RUM-Gaming 3D printing events have been helping with a lot.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
because especially when I'm running them by myself, like I have to
yeah.
talk to people. And I'm a much better salesperson talking to somebody than I am a stranger talking to somebody.
Well, I mean, I think honestly, I think that's what you need to treat it as, right? Like you need to sell RUM-Gaming, right? You need to click on that salesman, right, and sell this nonprofit to people.
Yeah, well, I do that very well. It's whenever I'm like,
but you also
walking around QuakeCon and want to just approach a stranger and say,
well,
"Hey, do you know any veterans?"
See, I learned a lot from my dad. I pick up a lot from my dad, I think, in the fact that he's, a career salesman. And I think I consider myself to be pretty good at it too, because I think of everything as being a salesman. Like, even when, like, just talking to strangers, like in a crowd, just trying to spark up a random conversation. It's like, I'm trying to sell myself to you. Like, and if I don't feel like selling myself to you as far as, like, who I am and my personality, like, I want to, it's a sales thing. And a lot of times, like, if you're trying to sell cars or houses or, whatever you're trying to sell, if you sell yourself first, the product sells itself, right?
Yeah, like a ketchup popsicle,
right?
Or a woman in white gloves,
right? People go into stores to buy things. They don't go into stores for no reason, right? So if you can sell yourself, the product sells itself. People go into stores knowing already knowing that they're going to spend money, right? If they don't want to spend money, they're not going to talk to you as a salesman to begin with. If they're talking to you as a salesman, they are looking to spend money, which means you just need to sell yourself. You need to establish trust.
See, but that's a small difference at shows like this. Sometimes I go to shows just to look. I actually hope I don't spend money when I go to shows like this because I'm doing it as just a reason to get out of the house, hang out with my family, look at some cool shit, maybe have some good conversation. And if I leave without spending money, I'm honestly kind of happy sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck yeah, didn't spend nothing but the gas to get here. Like, all right. Like, but I do plan to spend money, so that's the difference. I go there ready to spend money.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's
So
still
if you
mostly
have,
true. I just meant when it comes to things like our RUM-Gaming shows, not everybody's aiming to spend money. Like
yeah,
something has to
everybody,
really jump out at them.
everybody is prepared to spend money if they're shopping. So you just have to sell yourself.
Yeah.
The product will sell
But
itself.
it's different than back when, like, your dad was doing like appliances. Like, yeah, if
Yeah.
you're in the appliance section looking around, you're looking to buy something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm relating this a lot to, like, my experience at Guitar Center, but I mean,
Well,
I feel
same
like you
thing.
can
don't just
relate it.
go to the Guitar Center to window shop.
Well, I mean, some people do. I certainly do from time to time. I just like to look at some of the new tech and see what's around. I don't necessarily have anything to purchase or have intention to buy. But, like, my point is if you are walking up to a salesman and engaging with a salesman, i.e., us, then my job is to establish trust so that whatever I have in front of me, you can trust is worth your money.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying that. I'm going to say I still do that. I just meant
Yeah.
I was just battering back and forth. The difference at these shows is not everybody is going there with the intention of spending money.
Yeah,
Some people
sure.
are literally, they look at it like, hey, I can let my little children walk around and look at shit and I don't have to pay a dime and they're happy. I'm happy.
Yeah.
All right, we can
But
go
even
home.
still, you should sell yourself, because if you can sell yourself,
Oh, yeah.
then they'll buy into the nonprofit, right? Oh yeah, let me go follow you on Facebook. Let me go check out your website. Let me, subscribe to your YouTube.
Well, that's why I said my newest thing is just instead of trying to sell you something, I try and just get you to think about other veterans,
Yeah.
So instead of saying, hey, you want to buy something, like, hey, do you know any veterans?
Yeah. Sell the nonprofit.
Cool.
Don't
We'll
sell
do
the
this for free.
Don't
Yeah.
sell the product.
That's what
sell
I
the
started doing.
nonprofit.
I started like the first half of the show in like last month, or not last month, back in June. I was trying to sell the product. Like, hey, let me know if you have any questions. I can talk about it, show you it. Now I'm like, fuck that shit. I don't care if you buy anything. You know any veterans?
Yeah. We don't care if you buy anything. We just want you to support what we do. Sell the nonprofit, not the product. The product is a bonus.
Yeah, I found that a lot. That's a lot easier for me to be the salesman on than these 3D prints, because it's like, well, I don't know what your interests are. It's hard to be like, oh, you want a crystal dragon? You want a dice tower? What do you do?
Yeah.
What are your hobbies? I'd have to spend 20 questions getting to know you before I could really be the salesman of a 3D print.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't need to know you to sell RUM-Gaming.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm really excited to do this together with you. I think we're gonna make a fucking killer team, dude.
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully there's enough traffic and we have enough product. It's a good experience and we can come back next year.
Yeah. But again, to wrap everything up in a tight little bow, November 9th through November 10th from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. 12 p.m. November 9th, 12 a.m. and 12 p.m. November 10th, 6 p.m. We will be in Dallas, Steampunk November. Do what now? Venus. You're right. Venus, Venus, Texas. Be there or be square. Like I said, we're printing some really cool stuff that you probably won't see outside of the event. So if you want some unique RUM-Gaming prints, come check us out. If you are in Texas, it's not that far of a drive. You can do it.
And if you're in the Dallas, Tulsa area, October 27th, we'll be at the Glenpool Tulsa comic book swap with a few Halloween items. Not a whole lot, because like I said, we're trying to pry towards the steampunk. But we have started branching out to making some earrings and keychains and stuff. Some like pumpkin and ghost earrings and keychains. And a few other Halloween things, cookie cutters, if you like cookie cutters. Yeah, we'll be there too with some Halloween stuff. Maybe a few of the steampunk. I'm not trying to sell those beforehand, but yeah, we'll be there as well for the October 27th on a Sunday.
Yep. Make sure you check out our Facebook. Make sure you check out our website, rum-gaming.com. Check out our X. Check out our TikTok. We're always posting TikToks of all the 3D prints that we do. So even the stuff that we don't do in show and tell, you can see on our TikTok. You get it printed in, well, I would say real time, but not real time, sped up. But it's still it's a lot of fun to watch, man. It's cool. I mean, you could get sucked in watching those for like an hour, just scrolling the whole account, right? It's a blast. So make sure you check out our
Well, and a
TikTok.
lot of
Subscribe to our YouTube. We are multi-streaming. We're live here on Twitch. We're also live on YouTube right now. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube, like it, leave a comment, turn on alerts so that you know when we're streaming again and when we're live again. We try to do all of the streams that we do on Twitch on YouTube as well. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. We are doing our WoW Mythic Plus progression. What dungeon do you think we're going to be focusing on tomorrow there, raid leader?
Luck of the Keys, man.
Luck of the Keys. Oh,
I do. I'll say I do
I
have
did
+3 Grim
yeah,
Battle.
I pulled a +2 Mists of Tierna Scythe or Necrotic Wake. I can't remember. But anyway,
if we do a +3, then we can do a +4. So we might do some more difficult content.
there we go. So make sure you tune in for that tomorrow. Make sure you tune in every Monday for Scriv's stream. He was doing some race car driving yesterday. That was a lot of fun. We had a raid on one of our good friends, Steel Horse Live. He appreciated that. That was a fun little interaction. But yeah, make sure you tune in every Monday for that. Goat, you have anything else before we stream? I think I just word blurted it all out. Lots of left turns. That's right.
Yeah, I was just going to throw out, you were talking about things that we don't show and tell, because again, we print things for veterans and customers that support our community. So there's a lot of those prints you'll never see in show and tell, unless it just happens to be here on that day.
Yep.
But we do record all of them and take pictures of all of them, and slowly upload them to TikTok as time allows.
Yep.
And so yeah, you see a lot of things on our TikTok that you'll never see on these streams.
Yep.
Or at our shows for that matter, because we do custom orders.
Yep. So make sure you tune into that. And again, make sure you keep an eye on our website. That blog will be launching this week. So make sure you stay tuned for that. We'll be posting out an announcement on all of our socials whenever that does happen. So stay tuned. Hope everyone has a wonderful evening. And we will see you in a good week. And we will see you again on Monday.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Darling, you and I. Barely scratching the surface. This